and welcome to another edition of Lunchtime Live. My name is Jacob Justus, and I'll be your host over the next hour. Today and every Thursday, we will be bringing you the best musical acts from the Inland Empire and surrounding areas. Prepare to go into the lunch hour feeling recharged. Crank up your speakers and get ready to hear the stellar music and riveting edge-of-your-seat dialogue with your favorite local bands and undiscovered artists. All here on Coyote Radio.
All right, and welcome to yet another edition of Lunchtime Live, coming to you from the campus of California State University, San Bernardino. For the next hour, you are going to hear some phenomenal music from one of San Bernardino, Riverside, or San Diego County's greatest local bands. Today, in particular, we are pleased to be joined in studio by the band Amariah from Corona, California. So now, without further ado, here again is your host, Jacob Justus.
All right. Thanks, Lacey. Another beautiful Thursday morning here. How's everybody doing today? Good.
How about you?
Excellent. Would you guys care to introduce yourselves to our audience?
Yeah, my name is Josh.
And Josh, what do you do in the band?
I play the drums.
Excellent. Excellent.
I'm Jackie, and I sing.
Very good.
I'm Sergio, and I play guitar.
Right on. And so the band, again, is Amariah. Cool name. You know, when I Googled it, I came back with some interesting results. Promised by God, I think, was one of the translations. It's a Hebrew word.
Yes, that's right.
Tell us a little bit about that. How'd you guys cook that one up?
Oh, man, to be honest, I think when we first were in the studio, we actually didn't have a name, but, you know, as a band, we had the music, we had a direction in mind, you know, goals and stuff that we're shooting for. And after recording the first 4 songs, we were all sitting around in the studio and we're thinking to ourselves, guys, we need a name, you know? And we'd been brainstorming maybe the past week before that. Mm-hmm. And we just kind of came with a list of things that stuck out to us. And not entirely sure, I don't remember who, so don't quote me on this necessarily, but it may have been the bassist or our keyboardist who came with the name Amariah. You know, and it just, I think, promised by God, seemed to stick with us as a band because we all have a grounding into faith.
Well, I think it wears well, actually. I like the sound of it, just the way that it rolls off the tongue, and then listening to the music, I think that the audience, you know, once we sort of, when I dissected it, I felt like it suited you guys fairly well. So I think it's working out for you.
Sweet.
What about the style of music that you guys play drew you in, not only individually but as a group?
Originally, like how it started was with me and Sean, and we started a little project going on, and it was other guitars.
The other guitars.
And it was the original, like, I don't know how, like, where we're going. We just started, like, writing, but then eventually we started finding a good sound. Mm-hmm. It's more, it's described as, like, some kind of rock.
Yeah, some people have actually compared us to J-rock, you know?
Yeah,
like, because I guess our sound really is somewhat diverse, because, I mean, we all pull in from acts as far as really heavy death metal acts, or really more tame music, like around Sounds of Circus Survive or Thrice and stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely got that feel, you know, and then the vocals come across as being very clean and sort of unsuspecting, I guess. You know, once I heard that, I was like, oh, this is refreshing. This is really nice.
Yes, like, I had somebody come up to me saying, like, we're like the metal version of Paramore, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, she does kind of sound like that. Jackie does kind of sound like the chick from Paramore. So, well, why don't we jump into it? The first track that we're going to hear today is called Quicksand. This is Amariah. Yes, that's what I needed to get the morning started. Forget the coffee or the rock star. That's what's up. So for sure, like we were saying, kind of the Paramore sounding on the vocals. Jackie, I don't know how much influence that band might have had on you. But
Well, that was the previous singer, because I'm actually a replacement singer.
Well,
Or
The new singer, not a replacement singer.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say.
do you guys have any formal training at all in the instruments that you play, or?
formal training is just like practicing,
well, I mean, aside from doing your paradiddle flam, sort of drum pad beats and stuff like that.
It's just usually just jamming and stuff, just like, and then when we practice, we just get together and hopefully someone has something up to the table to bring, and then we just work off of it, basically.
For sure. Well, that's a question I always ask. Like, did you, music school, or did you go do anything like that?
Man, I think as far as the guitarists go, we just kind of picked up a guitar sometime in high school, and we went our own way from there,
Yeah.
And from just learning songs and playing in bands and doing gigs, we pick up so much more as we go along.
Yeah.
And the theory just came secondary.
Let's talk about where you guys are from. You guys all live in Corona?
Mm-hmm. Almost all of us. Josh, Adrian, Sarah, they all live in Corona. Myself, I am always traveling from Lake Elsinore to Riverside, and so I'm just the nomad right now.
Right.
Yeah. Sean, the other guitarist, he's pretty much in the same situation as I am, driving from one place to another,
Mm-hmm.
making our homes where we can in the different cities right now as we work and go to school and all that. Yeah, and Jackie here, he lives off in Miraloma.
Yeah. It's really close to Corona, though.
What about the some of the stuff I was reading online about you guys and checking the band out? You guys have had some good exposure in IE Weekly and have done some other shows and stuff like that, some bigger shows. And so, tell me about that experience.
The IE Weekly, that was they came across us, and they wanted to do a piece on us, and so we were all for it. I mean, of course. Any exposure we can get is good. We want to share the music with as many people as we possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
But the bigger shows we've played, there was a huge festival out at Irvine Lake recently in September.
Mm-hmm.
They had 200 bands play and stuff, and they had a good crowd of people show up, and I mean, I think for our set, we had maybe a good 4 or 5 dozen people there for our stage at that time, so that was something we were happy about. It was definitely something for us to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Next to that, there was a show at the Whiskey A Go-Go in Hollywood. We played with a bunch of death metal acts, actually, so it was really
funny,
interesting.
Just kidding.
Yeah, no, it was definitely very interesting because we stuck out like a sore thumb, and so I'm sure people remembered us because, you remember that one band at that one show? I mean, what were they doing there? Oh, yeah, what were they called? Oh, yeah, I might look them up sometime, hopefully.
So these are all screamo bands and stuff like that?
Yeah,
death metal. There was the band before us was a thrash band.
I don't know. We were nothing like the music there.
Well, I've been to shows like that where you sometimes you hear a band and you're kind of like, what is going on? But like you said, I think that those can be the more memorable bands. You'll remember that band.
Yeah.
So, well, good for you guys. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back with more from Amariah.
This is Sergio.
This is Josh.
And this is Jackie, and we are from Amariah. And you're listening to Coyote Radio, local bands 24/7.
So, with Jackie being the latest addition to the band, I think it was July, you said, that you came in. How have you guys seen this style change since the addition of Jackie?
I think it's definitely become much more aggressive. Not necessarily so much in your face that it's too much to digest, but it's just enough that you can listen to it and you can actually take in the vocals and what she's saying as a whole.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a lot more colorful too, style wise, and it feels like we've kind of matured more and more found our sound.
Oh yeah, our songwriting has definitely been stepped up since these first 4 songs we recorded. I mean, it's definitely something else right now.
Where are you guys recording at?
We're recording with a friend.
Yeah.
Tony.
Yeah, Tony Alamon in Corona, actually. He's got a studio set up in actually in his own place, and it's actually a really professional setup. And
it sounds good. And so what else would you say you bring to the band, Jackie?
Well, I've had like a lot of training since I was like 13. I started taking opera lessons.
Cool.
So my whole style has been from Evanescence, that kind of style. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot different, I think.
Oh, yeah, definitely different from what you hear now. Although she can still sing these songs just as well. The new songs, the vocals will definitely bring something else to the table.
I like a lot of movement, like vocal movement. Like I don't like when it's like really steady.
Much more
I like
colorful.
Like roller coaster.
For sure.
That's how I like to write.
Well, we're definitely going to get that new stuff loaded up, and any time you get music after this, you want to push our way. So have you guys? So have you played a show since you've been in the band?
We played the Whiskey with the metal.
With the metal bands.
Get the metal bands.
It was very fun.
For sure. And then you had one, wasn't it? What was it, like the 22nd or something like that?
That was the
was that the one?
Lake, I believe, yeah.
So is this at Irvine Meadows? Is this over there?
It's by like a campground. It's
it's basically like a campground by the lake.
Okay, I think I know where that's. I think it's Irvine Meadows. I don't know. I've been to a couple of shows out there. Was it a big amphitheater next to it?
It was like fields and
it's open fields, and then you got the lake over in the side there.
What about the inspiration of the band? Can you tell us? What inspires you to write music?
Sometimes, it differs from each of us, I feel like, for me personally, it stems from my own personal belief system and all that. I feel like a good belief system and knowing what you believe and why you believe it sets a good groundwork for everything else that you do, and cool. Wanting to share music with everyone else is a good drive. Mm-hmm. And we get together, just brainstorm and start with whatever little melodies we have in mind. Sometimes we might just start with the sound out of a soundtrack or a movie. It's like, that sounds interesting, and then it turns into something else. Sort of a general vibe, it's sort of general feeling, and then let it roll. It's kind of what Josh was saying before about powwowing and just kind of letting it come out. So that's cool. Well, let's hear another one. This next track is called Walls. This is Amariah coming at you from Cal State San Bernardino. All right. Well, that one we got like it a lot. I like it a lot. We got a little taste of something there that I didn't really hear in any of the other songs. When I played this one, I was like, "There's a keyboardist in the band." So I want to make sure that we're representing the rest of the band that's not here. You guys are a 6-piece band, is that right?
Yes.
Yep. So let's get the names out there for everyone else who's listening that isn't here today.
Well, there's our other guitarist, Sean. Really cool dude. You see him around, you probably think it looks like Claudio when his hair's not in a ponytail.
Right.
He's
got big hair,
massive.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then we got Sarah who plays keyboard. She does all the piano pieces, the synth and stuff, and she's actually a really good part of the band as far as like structure-wise and all that, the songwriting. And then we also have Adrian on the bass. You'll hear some of that work on the new stuff too. That guy's I forget how good he is at bass sometimes.
It comes across well. You guys have good structure, to the music. You can say that for sure. That's why I asked if you guys had any kind of training, because the structure of the music is solid. You don't see a lot of bands these days that are writing 5 and 6 minute long tracks. They're like, three verses, 2 choruses, and we're out. You know what I mean? And so that kind of pre-formatted music, it doesn't really thrill me. But the influence, I can see the influence. We were talking about some other bands, these bands that are not Christian bands. And by the way, would you guys tout yourself as being a Christian band, or how would do you shy away from that, or?
Well, we're definitely grounded in faith as far as our lyrics go and stuff, and like the message we have is definitely positive, and it's all about staying on top and stuff, and relying on God and things like that. But I guess as far as labeling ourselves as a Christian band, I'd say yeah, just mainly because of that. The message in itself is Christian, you know?
Just a kind of positive message in general.
We don't write purposely like, oh, I'm going to sit down and write about God.
Talk about God today.
Yeah, it's just kind of like what we have to say.
You know, what about these, I don't know, the inspiration is one thing, but how has your writing or creativity been impacted, I guess, by the changes that you guys have seen with the addition of other members and then people moving and stuff like that we mentioned? Do you think that plays a factor as well?
Yeah, definitely, especially with the newer stuff. I mean, it's like, we'll write music that's a bit more punchy, I guess you could say. You know, it's a little edgier and stuff. I mean, you got solid guitar leads, solos here and there, the melodies, the keys in the back, the dual vocals, the harmony in the vocals and stuff. It's since the first 4 songs and making the changes, it's been a lot more. It's been much more rock solid foundation.
How would you gauge people, since you've been playing these shows, you know, at the Whiskey and stuff like that? How would you gauge the audience reaction, like the night that you played with the thrash bands and stuff? How, like, did they seem to respond well, or were they really just thrown off?
Well, they kind of just like stared at us, like, "What are you doing on stage?" But I was just normally I get really nervous up there, but I was like, you know what? Like, forget being nervous. I'm like, I'm here to have fun. We have family out there. We have some people that won't hurt to give us a chance to like go listen. So I was just like, stop standing there, like, move, come on, like, get moving. You know.
Well, that's cool. I mean, that's one thing. Energy on stage. You guys have good energy, would you say?
It's getting better.
It's getting better.
We play.
Yeah, stage presence is still in the works. I feel like we were so focused on the whole musical aspect of it, you know, and then the shows are something else, but it's definitely coming along. I mean, we got Claudio on stage, right? You know, waving his hair around, so that's good.
For sure. Whipping it.
Yeah.
I'm usually the one that's most energetic.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the one.
What, are you kidding me? You see the way the guy plays drums. You got to have some energy.
Yeah.
I do a lot of things.
He does a lot of sing-alongs.
Yeah,
nice.
Especially on his breaks and the songs.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
What kind of sing-along?
Especially with the new track on Surrender, like, after the bridge, there's like a little break, and I do tend to like stand up and start singing along with her.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny
because it's like it goes quiet, and it's just like voice and keys.
Yeah, it's just the voice and the keys.
And then it's like ba-ba-bam. So it's kind of funny. Everybody's like, they don't expect him to be like yeah up there.
For sure. I'm always game for that. I think whenever the drummer, can get involved in that way, because a lot of times I have a bias. Let me just say I like to play percussion, and so. For me, I always do focus on the drummer, but I think that these guys oftentimes are just kind of sitting in the back, and no one really gets to, looking over the top. Like, where is this guy? What does he even look like? Or she even look like? So I think that's cool. Right on. And we're going to take another quick break, but we'll be back with more from Amariah.
This is Sergio.
This is Josh.
And this is Jackie, and we are from Amariah. And you're listening to Coyote Radio, local bands 24/7.
Listening to Lunchtime Live, coming to you from Cal State San Bernardino and from the studios of Coyote Radio. Today we have the pleasure of being joined in studio by members of the band Amariah from Corona, California. So here again is your host, Jacob Justus.
That's me, and here we are. And, during break we were talking, about going to shows and stuff like that. And Jackie didn't strike me as being much of a pugilist, but apparently if you get in her way, she will knock you down. I did not know. Yeah, but we're saying girls can be way more brutal than guys, in terms of like the whole.
They fight for attention. That's why. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, that's something that is undeniable, and guys enjoy the flip side of the coin, which is, of course, the chasing after part. But it's a family show, so moving on. Do you guys have a target audience? Like when you're out there, you're playing a show. Are you playing to any kind of crowd, or you just play?
Yeah, hopefully we could just like appeal to everyone's ear.
Yeah,
but then like we do have like our sound, like it hits someone's attention, like, oh, you guys sound like this, or then another person's like same thing, like, oh, you guys sound like this.
It's bound to draw in one crowd over another,
right?
Just because of the style of music it is. So but hopefully, like Josh was saying, that everybody gives it a chance and everyone can listen.
For sure. You know, I'm always trying to, like, for instance, I'm always trying to get my mom to listen to new stuff, you know.
She'll like us.
I think she will. I think that you guys do have a broad sound. I think that you appeal to a lot of people. The song that we'll hear here shortly, Follow Me, that track is pretty cool. It's a little more mellow, you know, something I think that, again, will have some more mass appeal. And, you know, it'll give our audience a chance to feel that part of the band out, your sound out, as I should say. So why don't we go ahead and do that one, Lace? Let's listen to Follow Me. So that one was Follow Me, and like we were saying, that a little more mellow, you know. Yeah. I think Grandma would enjoy that track. You know, she'd be banging her head to it. Oh, yeah, you know. So cool. You know, it's kind of gives us a little more range, a little more idea of like what you guys can do as a band. And that's always good to have a little variety, the spice of life, as they say. I don't know if I necessarily believe that, given the monotony of most people's everyday, but hey, you know, it works for you guys. Have you guys gotten the opportunity to play any kind of like community or charitable events in the time you've been together?
We've actually gotten a chance to play here at the school before. Yeah, it was for the VSA club that was here. You know, we have a friend who knows people in that club, and they were looking for an extra act for it, and we were able to go on like second or third or something like that. So that was really cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, and then recently, maybe like a week ago, was it?
A week ago.
Yeah. We played at we had recently played at a Christian bookstore out in Pomona. Cool. You know, that was pretty cool. It was a nice setting. Not so many people there, but you know, it's still nice to be able to do something for the community.
Cool.
We like playing community things.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Would you have any advice for bands who are up and coming who are trying to do the same thing you guys are doing?
Oh man, stick with it.
Yeah, just be motivated and dedicated to it. Basically,
don't listen to anyone when they tell you.
It might take you some time to get yourself out there and stuff, but it's just a matter of sticking with it and writing the music and making contacts, really, you know?
Yeah. Who's the mouthpiece for the band? Like, who is the go-getter in the band to, like, book shows and do that kind of stuff?
Oh, we have...
it's...
Just kidding.
We have a friend of ours actually books the shows, and then he'll go through me, and I'll make sure with the rest of the band, you know, like that we can all do it and stuff like that. And,
well, as long as they're booking venues, you guys get to play songs like the next one we're going to hear, then I'm stoked. This is Ivory by Amariah. I'm definitely going to be looking for you guys to play my next birthday party, you know, bar mitzvah, something like that for sure. It'll work out. Where can people find your music online? Where can they buy and learn about your future collaboration shows and stuff like that?
Well, you can find us on Reverb Nation under Amariah Rock, Facebook, Amariah Music, Twitter again, Amariah Music. As far as buying our music, you can keep your eyes peeled. It's going to be up on iTunes soon. Mm-hmm. We'll be putting up whatever we can on there, and it's pretty much it's about where you can find us online right now.
Well, cool.
You know.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to go, scout you guys a little bit more and see what I can do. You see me at the next show with like my fan-made T-shirt on and creepy mask that looks like someone in the band, that kind of thing. Well, thank you guys for coming down. It's been a party. It's been a riot, and wish you guys all the future success possible. And
Thank you,
we'll
guys.
see you
Thank you for having us
next
here.
time here on Lunchtime Live.